Okay.
Okay, we're going live in a few seconds.
Just talk normally.
Hear ourselves before we started really on the mic.
We're live and fine.
All right, all right, all right. It is Sunday. It is 16 minutes past the hour of 9 p.m. So you know what time it is. It's time for the Eden Corner. My name is Majid. I am your wellness coach, your guide, your captain, your pilot for the next 45 minutes. And today we got some interesting content for you guys. But first of all, how you doing? How was your weekend? How you guys living? You happy? You well? Have you smiled this weekend? I had a pretty interesting weekend, I got to say. I went for a restaurant launch yesterday, which was all fun and games until it was just too cold in there for me. I was trying to be a man and everything, and just, after a while I had to say, look, guys, could you just turn down the air conditioning? It ain't working for me, all right? So that was fun. What else was happening? The AMVC Awards I saw was everywhere. People showing off how much their outfits cost, which I thought was quite entertaining. Why the need to let people know how much you spend? Makes no sense to me, but hey, you know what? I'm not in that circuit, so, to each his own, right? Whatever floats your boat. It's all good. Anywho, I'm good. I've had a pretty restful weekend. So I'm here to give you some tips to start your week out, all right? To get you focused, get you moving. Today, we're gonna just finish off where we were last week, guys, and the week before, actually, because, it is Mental Health Awareness month of May. So, we wanna take a quick look into depression, just to finish you guys off with that topic. And of course, I have a guest in the studio for that. My tall, handsome friend by the name of Liv. You guys remember? 2 weeks ago, he was here in the studio, and he gave us quite an interesting insight into depression and, his own personal experiences with that. And, bro, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
It's good to be back.
It's good to see you. Good to see you. How's your week been?
It's good. I went to a birthday party yesterday.
All right.
Got some sun today.
Okay. All right. So just kind of a relaxed day today.
Yes.
Outdoors.
Yep.
All right.
I got a lot of sun today.
A lot.
Yes.
Yeah. I see a hint of a tan in there somewhere. All right. That's good. Glad to hear it. I got a couple of other guests in the studio as well, but I'm gonna get to them. I want to talk to Liv for a second, man. I wanna hear some more insights, man, because you gave us so much value the last time you were here. I loved it. And I want to hear more, man. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I listened to the last recording we did, and there's some questions you asked me where I'm like, oh man, I could have answered that better.
Yeah.
So I took notes, and I'm going to go through them very fast because we could talk for 2 days about this.
We could be all
But
week about this.
I'm just gonna rack and stack and get right through it.
I like that. Rack and stack, baby.
Yeah. So, you brought up how you've seen people bring their whole entire persona to their trauma is their identity.
Yes.
And I wanted to hit that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think in this life we have to be very careful with that. It's okay to let the pain hurt, but you need to. I believe you have two options in life. You can be the victim or the victor. You can't control much of anything in this life, but the one thing you can control is how you decide how you react.
Absolutely.
And I believe in very much you should always try to be the victor for obvious reasons, right? And that ties into the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual. I could talk about that for an hour.
No, but I think this is really important what you're saying here, because I see a lot of people who wrap their identity around their trauma.
Right.
And lead with it at every opportunity.
Right.
And I wonder and I worry. So it's great to get this perspective on this, Yeah, no, please.
It's okay to let the pain hurt.
Yeah.
But there comes a time with the healing, you need to move on and find victory in whatever that painful situation was. Right?
Absolutely.
Because we don't have time. There's too much pain in this world. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the next point. I come from America, and it's so awesome to be here in Africa.
Nice.
In the U.S., and I'll just preface everything. This is all Livingston Luco's opinions. My opinions. You can shoot me later, push me off a cliff if you disagree, but whatever.
Nice.
You're going to hear it. So in the U.S., we're becoming more secular. faith and religion is dwindling away. Coming here to Africa, religion is, from what I've told and what I've seen, and spirituality is very big.
Yes.
And I've seen the importance of balance. So I've heard of some things like autism might be very high in Lagos or Nigeria, and people, there's a guy who I'm working with at work, and his wife is a psychologist, and where he goes to church, they want to pray over his autistic child, and he's like, hey, we're trying to get medical help with this.
Yes.
Yeah, spiritual help is awesome. But, so my point is this: you have to have balance in all this. Example, if I'm bleeding out, please always pray for me. But at that moment, I need you to apply pressure and put a tourniquet on me.
Yes.
And my physicalness needs to be addressed at that point. So there's times where you have to be balanced with the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. The U.S. is not balanced, where we're dwindling in spirituality. And I guess my encouragement here with Africa is, yes, be very focused on the spirituality, but make sure you're not unbalanced in the other areas.
Look, man, this is pretty heavy stuff, and we could dedicate a whole show to this one. But I like what you're saying, man,
Right.
because one of the issues that I've always taken with religion out here is
Yes.
the lack of accountability that people have, that almost use it as an excuse without application. And they say faith without works, is that. So it's important, guys, to understand that while it is amazing and it is good to have a strong religious foundation, but you got to put in the work. You got to be practical. You got to seek the help when it is necessary. I understand that if you are dealing with illness, you're dealing with sickness, yes, it's good. Pray over it. But goodness sake, go to the doctor.
Of course. And for the religious people out there for anyone in life, I'm going to give advice at that.
Yeah.
Especially religious people, and let's say politicians, leaders, right? 3 things. You need to look at what they're saying,
Yes.
you need to look at what they're doing, and then you need to look at the fruits of their spirit, the fruits of their actions.
Interesting.
If all those things are good, then that person's a good person. But people can talk the talk and act the funk,
Yeah.
but look at how they're influencing those around them, right? Is there a negativity around them?
Yes.
There's a reason why. And then caution to that person.
Dude, where were you pre-elections, man? We needed you.
Yeah.
But for those of you, I know that there are a lot of young people out there who are listening as well, who look up to our influencers and look up to people and personalities out there. And please, I need you to just say that again. All right, the 3 things that you should look at when you are looking up at people.
Yeah, and with all due respect, I'm a guest in this country, but I'm
Yes.
speaking to every man and woman in this world. If you are a leader, if you are someone appointed with influence and responsibility, everyone should look at what you say, what you do, and the fruits of your spirit, the fruits of your actions.
Amazing.
And if something's not adding up, then it shows a light on where your heart truly is. And I say we should be cautious with that person. The people in churches and in political positions have more responsibility, therefore more judgment will come to them. Like they're holding a higher standard, and they should be held to the standard they claim.
Amazing. Absolutely, man.
It's very serious.
Very, very, very.
Even a husband, being a husband or a wife.
Absolutely.
It boils down-
It's all the way down.
All the way down.
Right down to running your own home.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I told my wife when we were having marriage problems. And I said, you know what? I understand. I don't deserve your trust right now.
Yeah.
But I ask for you to look at what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and the fruits of my spirit.
Amazing.
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
I like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely like that. I'm glad this show is being recorded because I'm gonna need that, and I'm gonna use that, especially to my missus. Anyway, but please, man, please,
Okay.
go on.
The next point I lined out, but it was how you brought up focus on the practical things.
Yes.
We could talk about that, but I'm going to move on. If we have time, we can come back to that one.
Sure.
You talked about after your father passed away, how you were so blessed with the discipline of rooting yourself when you started your gym and the rhythm that brought to you,
Yes.
and how because you were working for other people through your business in this gym, it grounded you, and really it's like the rhythm, the discipline. You talked about your discipline,
Yes.
and that is it kept you from isolating yourself, and it just rewarded you. And it's not to say when you lose someone that you love, it hurts because it matters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you have to recognize when you're going through pain. There's a good friend of mine who I was with in Lebanon in 2021. He had a rule where it's like, hey, you have 24 hours to really hurt,
Mm-hmm.
mourn, and maybe let's just say a week.
Yeah.
Whatever you, but after that time, you need to find peace and move on. Right.
Yes.
So, anyways.
But interesting point. Let me ask you a question
Yeah.
on that, actually. Because, yes, I think I like the idea of having a rhythm and having something that you can put yourself into. But where do you draw the line? When does it now become you running away and hiding from whatever it is that you're going to be, you're avoiding, let's say? If you're avoiding a certain pain, you're avoiding dealing with something, when does it become hiding?
Well, you'll know right away. I mean, and I think you know what? Especially in today's world, it's okay to go find solitude.
Yes.
Disconnect from the internet. Disconnect. Sometimes it is okay to withdraw to a place of quietness and meditate and pray and find that peace. And it takes time. But when you'll know if you're unbalanced, when you're not eating, you're not talking to anyone, you're not leaving your room, you're not brushing your teeth, you're not
Yes.
waking up, you're spending 20 hours on the internet. You can withdraw in so many different ways, in alcohol and drugs,
Yeah.
and being busy at work. You can withdraw from your family by being a successful businessman,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
All right.
I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. It does. I
Yeah.
mean, best thing really is you are dealing. If you are out there, any of this resonates with you, you're in a situation of distress, of great pain, of dealing with loss. You know, bereavement. You're in mourning. It could be even a loss of a relationship, a financial hole. Understand that finding a place of stillness is when you can start to hear,
Yeah.
as opposed to surrounding yourself with noise.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Go on.
All right. So the next one, this one I'm kind of embarrassed about. You asked me what's a practical way to literally have someone who's just starting to get into physical training.
Yes.
What's your recommendation? And I talked about walking, and then it hit me the next day. It's like everyone walks here. Like,
Yeah.
like that's okay. So
Well, no. Not everybody. Not
Okay,
everybody.
okay.
You know, the people. I would say, the middle class and up, you'll find less people doing the walking.
yeah, okay.
Okay, because everybody gets into cars. In fact, you will find that there's even a bit of a stigma around walking. They see people walking, they think, "Aye, that's
Okay.
in financial difficulty.
Okay.
There's problems."
So
you
if,
know what I mean?
if it wasn't for Kunle,
Yes.
I didn't know that Uber was here. I just didn't know.
Okay.
So I was walking everywhere, many
Right.
miles a day, and then I had to go somewhere far. He's like, "Dude, just take an Uber." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Anyways, okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better. Thank
Yeah.
you for your
Yeah.
great. But so when I first started to like lift weights, I did it in high school, but it was like what I had to do for football. It didn't really become my own training. But here's my recommendation. I'm very practical, just starting out. First, find out what you want. Right? Like what do you want from this? Are you trying to be an athlete with sports? Do you want to play go find a sport. Like I love boxing. I did a lot of boxing at Elite Boxing here on Victoria Island. If you like soccer, go find a team. That's your community, right?
Yes.
That's where you make friends. If it wasn't for the boxing community, I wouldn't be here right now. That's how I found out about you, right?
Right.
So my first recommendation, go find a sport. But let's just say you want to like get into lifting or running or whatever. So get on a plan. Like literally, you can go on Google or DuckDuckGo for you privacy concerned people, which you should be concerned about your privacy, and type in 3-month workout plan or
Right.
whatever. You will start educating yourself on workouts, and you'll learn from that. But it doesn't matter where you start; just start on a plan. And the good thing about the plan is, you just check the box, do what it does, and it will keep you on the straight and narrow. So then, I recommend doing pictures before and after. Right? Like if it's a 3-month plan, do it. I do that all the time, and it's either encouraging or not encouraging.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
reality, right? And then also team up. Find someone. I've had a couple of good workout partners in my life, and it's like dating someone. When you find the right one, it's hard, but when you find the right one, it's beautiful, right?
Right.
Where like on days where you're tired, they're like, "Hey, don't care, toughen up, tough love, baby."
Right,
And like,
right.
let's go at the gym. But really, what the cool thing, specifically with lifting weights, it's those 2 or 3 reps where you would not have gotten it
Mm-hmm.
because you're already shot,
Yeah.
and they're helping you get 3 more reps. That is where the growth comes
Right,
from.
right.
So,
So when you train to failure, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where the difference.
doesn't look sexy.
No, it's not.
It
sucks.
requires to be humble.
Yes.
You feel very weak, but man, that's where the strength comes in, right?
Right.
So I hope I answered that question.
You did, man. You did. I like that. I like the fact that you talked about an accountability partner.
Yep.
You know, I think that's very important. I like the fact that you say have a plan.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, it's good to have a plan, go in with a plan, and start off with knowing what your why is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is your why? Why do you want to start? You know.
Yep.
And perhaps add on, start simple.
Start simple.
Start simple.
It's a journey.
Yes.
Everyone started from level 0.
Right.
And
Right.
don't be intimidated. When you go to the gym or wherever you're going to work out, no one cares. They're just happy you're there.
Yeah.
No one cares. Put
Yeah.
on a hat, put on some music, and go do your thing. Shine,
Absolutely.
shine, Bobo.
I like that, man. Excellent tips, man. Anything else you want to add?
For that one, no.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Yeah, so I'll hurry.
Yeah.
You talked about we were created for fellowship.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we're created for family, and so tying into like, hey, communities need to be tight,
Mm-hmm.
and we just need to look out for each other. Okay, I turned my page. We're almost done. We got like 5 more things. Is that
Good.
cool? Are we good?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it. We're here for you, man.
Hey, so I talked about horse blinders in the last episode, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really go into enough detail on that. That's just like when you're in a bad spot in your head. I call it tunnel vision, horse blinders. You're
Mm-hmm.
not looking at your perspective with a healthy mindset, and what you think, how you're looking at your life or your problem
Mm-hmm.
when you're struggling hard, it can be very narrow-sighted.
Yes.
The tunnel, like you're
Yeah.
only thinking about the pain or the hurt,
Mhm.
but like with a healthy mental place,
Mhm.
you would look at it from a different perspective. And so the point of that is just to give caution, like when you're in that bad spot, recognize that
Yes.
you're looking at it from a maybe bad perspective, and you need to open up your
Mm.
vision. Yeah. And that takes finding someone, talk to someone and say, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes a level of vulnerability, man.
Yeah, and then the facade the world shows on social media, the fakeness isn't
Oh,
real, right? You are
Lord.
not your how many followers you have. You are not how many likes your pictures have.
Mm-hmm.
You were meant so much, you know. You were meant so much more than that.
You're meant for so much more.
Right.
Absolutely, guys. I know, and people put so much stock in that. I've heard people having arguments saying, well, you know what, I've got more followers than that person, so I mean, you know, I don't know that they feel that makes them better or whatever the case may be. But great point there. We put way too much on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we could talk about every single one of these points. We could talk about for about
Each
a day.
point is a show.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
You know.
And then talking about that subway incident, you know,
Yes.
definitely tragic. I just wanted to say.
Have you seen it now?
I haven't.
Okay.
I saw a picture.
Yeah.
Um,
But no doubt you've seen the
video
drama
I have-
around it. I mean,
yeah, I mean it's international
It's-
news,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So my encouragement to everyone out there who doesn't know how to defend yourselves or others around you, I'm primarily talking to the men, but it's not limited to the men. I also encourage women to take 3 months and to go somewhere that teaches a combative style of self-defense, and you would be blown away how much different you would be in 3 months of training with like boxing or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, something with self-defense compared to nothing.
Yes,
Right? And that right there could be the difference between saving someone's life or and protecting yours, you know. So that's just encouraging. That's just me, right?
Yeah.
And
I
then
like that.
the last 2 things at the very end of the show, last episode, kind of caught me off guard with the, hey, we're done, one more piece of advice.
Yes.
And I said, hey, you'll never know what tomorrow, speaking with like suicidal ideations, right? I wanted to like kind of critique it because I didn't say it quite right. My 3 things of advice was, you never know what tomorrow holds. That's the same advice. I said, you know, God will always finish the work that he started in you. And I think that's so powerful. And that ties into the 3rd thing is you must keep the faith, right? You must keep your faith, because once you lose your faith, that's when your foundation's getting pulled out from underneath of you. And it ties back into that victor versus victim mindset. It's okay to be scared.
Yeah.
It is okay to hurt, but you can't let fear control you. Fear is a good thing when you control it.
Yes.
You think that football players and the world's best athletes in the world don't feel fear? They do. They just know how to harness it
Yes.
and use it to control them. So my advice is keep the faith, keep your faith, and get through the storm. Get through the storm, right? And you will be more resilient after that. And really, I'll just end my spiel with, in this world, I believe that the more mankind speaks the truth, we live in the truth, that the truth will set us free.
Fantastic.
Right. It's
Yes.
I'll just end with that. I really believe
Amazing.
you boil it all down to that, and there will be less pain in this world.
Yeah.
And the leaders who are called to be leaders, if they did that, they didn't make it about themselves, but they made it by and for the people. The world would be a better place.
Certainly would be, man. Certainly would be. Look, dude, the value, the nuggets, you've just been just boom, 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 knocking it out the park each time. I love it. I love it. That was so insightful. Truly appreciate that,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you so much. Listeners, people out there, I hope you felt the chills like I'm feeling, just hearing all that wisdom getting thrown at us, man. So, guys, Liv, thank you so much for that. And I wanna circle back to the exercise now. Because you talked about people getting started, and I have another guest on the show here to talk to you guys a little bit about getting started. And one thing that I always recommend is starting simple. Take it easy. A lot of people want to get into the workouts and they buy all the gear. They want to get straight into it. They get a personal trainer, but then failure to